Does XRP no longer have to pay capital gains tax if it is classified as a currency? All of that will be covered in today's video. What has to be done by XRP? What actions must XRP take to become legal tender and eliminate the requirement for capital gains tax? Now let's get started. Digital assets like XRP are currently recognized as property in the United States and essentially everywhere else in the globe. Therefore, the transaction of that property results in a capital gains event. However, when you compare that to the dollar or the pound, transacting that doesn't create tax events. So if we want XRP to become legal tender and therefore not able to trigger capital gains tax events, what does XRP have to do? What are the regulations? What are the hoops we have to jump through here? I don't think anyone else has gone into this level of detail to actually see what XRP needs to do to become a currency. So if you enjoy this video and you're enjoying the value so far, please consider hitting like and subscribing if you're new here. So as we know, cryptocurrencies, I'm laying this all out very clearly, cryptocurrencies are categorized as property and therefore trigger capital gains tax events when you transact those assets. But the US dollar is legal tender, and so therefore doesn't trigger these tax events. Triggering a tax event with a cryptocurrency can come by any of these things happening. Selling, trading, or even spending your crypto as a capital gains tax event. But the US dollar has no associated tax events. We all understand that we're all on the same page as we go along. Let's get into 5 different things that we need to see for XRP in order to make it legal tender. The first one is that you need regulatory approval. We need the endorsement from the financial regulatory bodies to say that XRP is in fact legal tender. We also need some legislation amendments. We need public and institutional adoption of XRP and usage of XRP. We need people to be educated about what XRP is and what it does. Finally, we need that international recognition for XRP across the board. All financial institutions, all central banks, and all countries understand XRP and acknowledge XRP as a currency. We need those 5 things to be in place for XRP to become legal tender. As you know, we've had some legal hurdles, and so XRP and the SEC, or SEC versus Ripple, has really put a stunt on the growth of XRP from a global scale and certainly from a legal scale. When you look at the legal side of things in the US, even though there's loads more clarity than there was, there's still uncertainty in the air when it comes to international markets and the way these big financial institutions across borders still view XRP because they still have this fear for some reason. That really should have been all but eradicated recently with this vindication of Red Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen. So that's less in the way now, but the legal hurdles will have had a lasting effect on XRP and the adoption of it. And so when you look from a global scale, you have to look at governing bodies from a global scale, like the IMF, whether we like them or not. But they do set the rules for these types of things. And they have said in documentation that you need to have major upheaval of a country's legal and financial framework in order to make a cryptocurrency legal tender. They've said this on their website. So they acknowledge that a cryptocurrency could become legal tender. So they've basically got the terminology in there for everyone to see. In order to do that, you've got to, and I'm reading this here, you have to amend monetary law to align with the new status of cryptocurrencies because we need new definitions for cryptocurrencies for that to happen. You need to ensure coherence in the legal system, so you need to make sure there are rules and boundaries for these types of things in the legal system, and you need to address absolutely all of the potential risks to financial institutions, making that switch over to a cryptocurrency legal tender. Because right now, cryptocurrency is volatile. In the speculation environment, it makes no sense to have XRP as a legal tender. It makes sense when the price on XRP has gone to where it needs to be to facilitate all the transactions around the world. At that point, it makes sense to adopt it as legal tender because now it's more stable. We want to see which statutes in American law actually need to be amended in order to make XRP legal tender. There are representatives in your areas that you can contact and directly ask for an amendment of a specific statute. You can contact people about this. For example, If we want XRP to be legal tender or any cryptocurrency for that matter, we have to have an amendment made to the statute, number 31, USC section 5103, and it is called, United States Coins and Currency, that would need to be amended to incorporate digital currencies or specifically, XRP, and it is absolutely paramount. This is the number one priority. If you want XRP to be legal tender, this has to be amended. This specific section has to be amended. Once we have that amendment in the statute, you then actually have to get regulatory approval from none other than the SEC. Not just the SEC, but also the CFTC, because they are the ones that apply that classification to the currency. Now, there are also AML, anti-money laundering, and know your customer regulations that absolutely would have to change. The AML Act of 2020 mandates the registration for dealing in virtual currency as money services, businesses, or MSBs.